All right, hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with a little unusual video today. We're going to be talking about griefing. Okay, before I get into this, I gotta just say this. Griefing is one of my trigger words. Griefing is gives me a trigger response. It does it puts me in a certain mindset or a mind. It basically agitates me and irritates me quite a bit. I mean, to the point where I feel like I need to make this video. Okay, so having said that, let's step back a little bit and understand a little bit about what griefing is. I got a lot of things on the screen here. We're going to kind of go over them individually, but ignore that right now. Just try to hear what I'm about to say. Griefing is different for everyone. Everyone has their own opinion. They have their own interpretation of what griefing is and how it should impact their gameplay, or how it could impact their gameplay, or how it impacts other people's gameplay. Griefing, you can't really put your finger on it because in different games, griefing means something different. In one game, you could perform this action and everybody will say, oh, this guy's a griefer. And then you go to another game and you do that very same action and they say, oh, that guy's a great player. So it boils down to personal how it impacts you personally. That's what I'm trying to say. Your personal relationship with griefing is you define griefing. Now, I've pulled up the dictionary's definition of griefing, and it is it seems to be extremely in line with my definition of griefing. And I'm going to explain to you what griefing is, why it is bad, and what some activities could be considered griefing. And basically, I'm just going to put out why I think griefing is it's an asshole's game technique. It's a troll. It's someone who doesn't know how to play, or they do know how to play, but they don't care about other people. That is a griefer. A griefer is someone who's basically just a jerk. Now let's go ahead and I was also going to say, someone who griefs has no personal honor. They have no integrity. They have no compassion, or they don't believe in justice or whatever. They are just the worst type of person ever, right? But there are people that do things that some people consider griefing. They're not griefing. They're playing their character in an excellent way that some people might consider griefing. So I'm going to try to explain what griefing actually is. Okay, now before I do that, I got another step back. I'm making all kinds of steps back. It doesn't matter what you or I think griefing is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what WTFosaurus thinks, or if Eris thinks, or Nubifier thinks, or it doesn't matter what anybody thinks griefing is. The only person that it matters, or persons that it matters, is the persons running the game. So if Chris Roberts and his game masters, game designers, and people running the game, if they think something is griefing, then it is griefing. If they don't think it's griefing, then it's not griefing. That's the bottom line. But hopefully, what they think falls in line with what we think. And as soon as that happens, as soon as they think a certain thing is griefing and we think a certain thing is griefing, then we will be happy. If you think something is griefing and they don't think it's griefing, they think it's acceptable gameplay, then there is a little bit of, what's the word? There's going to be a little tension between the player, that's you and me, and the game masters. Okay, why would it matter, or why would any game designer or builder, I'm not just talking about Star Citizen now, why would any multiplayer, and it has to happen in multiplayer, you can't grief in a single player scenario. I can't grief the AI, it can't happen, right? So you can only grief other players. Let's start off there. Now, why would it be important for a game company or a game developer to care what or who is griefing? Okay, first of all, it's no skin off their back. But what it is, I mean, because they're not in the game. They're just watching the game or managing the game or controlling the game. They're building the game for us. They're giving us all these tools. And if some player out there is griefing, why would they care? Why would it even bother them? Because they want a community. When I say community, what I'm saying is they want financiers, they want players that pay money, okay, to be happy. Because if you're happy, you're having fun, you'll come back and you'll pay more money, or you'll play this game longer. And the game masters and the game designers, that's what they want. They want, I mean, unfortunately, this is the nature of the beast. They're making this game to make money. That's duh, right? That's exactly what they're doing. So if they allow people to play their game and ruin it for another portion of the community, and that portion says, man, this game sucks because I constantly get griefed, okay, and that player base leaves, that hurts their financial situation. So they don't want that to happen. They want everyone to have fun. Okay, so they have to draw a line in the sand somewhere. All right, now hopefully that line they draw is exactly the same line that you draw. Because if it is, and it's acceptable, then you'll be happy. And you'll be like, yeah, they're backing me up. Even though they're just drawing the same line you're drawing. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how you know someone is griefing. Now, I'm not looking at the screen and I'm not reading any of this. It's actually too far away for me to see. But the absolute bottom line for griefing is someone doing something in the game that upsets someone else. That's it. Okay. Can I get upset when I'm in a dogfight with a guy, a pirate or whatever, a bandit or some, even a Navy pilot or whatever? What if I'm the guy trying to be the jerk, right? It's okay. If I'm in a dogfight with a guy and we're zigzagging, we're blowing each other up and whatever, and I blow up, does that make me upset? No. That's not upset. That's like, damn it, I lost. Okay, crap, right? I got to try better next time. I wasn't griefed. That was him outperforming me. Okay. Now, if I'm just walking in in a shop, let's say, and there's a guy in the shop with a gun, and he turns around and he shoots me in the head just for walking into a shop, that is griefing. We weren't engaged in any kind of, there was no reason for him to do it except for him wanting to do it. Right? That's griefing. Okay, so I watched a live stream today. It aired a few days ago, but I got around to watching it today. And there were a couple of YouTubers out there, and they were discussing what they interpreted griefing to be. And I was like, yeah, this sounds like a pretty cool conversation. Let me take a listen. Oh my God. Oh my God. None of them know what griefing is. There was 3 of them on the panel. They understand that. Let me back up. Their interpretation of griefing is so far to the passive that okay. Here's an example that was given. They said that if there was a pirate, and I'm not saying pirates are griefers because they're not. I want pirates to be in this game specifically. I think pirates are needed. I think when you pull somebody over, I'm using that as an example. When you pull somebody over and say, "Give me your cargo or I'm going to blow you up," that's not griefing. That's making money off of somebody else's hard work. That's different. But when you blow every merchant up for no reason just to see the explosion, that's griefing. Okay, so their explanation was, if there is a pirate outside of a space station like Port Olisar, and anytime a ship took off, they blew it up, that's griefing. They're not asking for money. They're not asking for remuneration. They're not asking for permission to fly through their area. They're just plain and simply just enjoying the experience of blowing someone up. That's how you define griefing. Griefing is when someone does something for pleasure, not because they're doing it, not something for pleasure, but hurting someone else because it makes you feel good. That's griefing. Let's take a look and see what I got my mouse pointer somewhere. Here we go. The term is applied to online multiplayer games. We knew this. And online multiplayer games didn't really appear until the late 90s. There were MMOs, but they were like text-based or they were board-based. Most people playing Star Citizen today, most people that are live streaming Star Citizen today weren't even alive then. Right? I was on these bulletin boards. I was playing these MMOs like Ultima, back in the beginning of the internet, before the internet even began. When you had to use your modem and you had to use a phone number and dial another modem. Okay, we won't get into that. All right. So, they got the Usenet group, right? Okay, whatever. Grief is giving someone grief. Okay, right. Let's skip all this and let's go methods of griefing, because I kind of want to go over each of these methods, because there is a method on here that when I read it, I was like, wow, I guess that really is griefing. I was like, I didn't even think that was griefing. But just thinking about it and being on this list kind of really opened my eyes to there are more ways to grief than to kill someone. Killing someone is the most basic way of griefing. You can grief people in so many different ways, obviously. And remember, I'm going to back up and say this again. Just because it's on the list doesn't mean every game would consider this to be griefing. That's up to the game designer and the game masters that run that game. They might consider it to be good gameplay. Okay, so here it is. Intentional friendly fire. Okay, let's back up to the... I'm just going to stop right there. I used to own a game store. I had computers in the game store. We would let people pay money to sit at our computers and play LAN. So we had like 4 computers hooked together, and they would all get into the same game, and they would play against each other. Like, what was a good one? Like StarCraft but we played this game called Quake. I don't know if you even remember that game, but there was this game called Quake. And there was a player, and I look back on it now and say, damn, he was a griefer. At the time, I really wasn't paying attention. He would always, almost always, every now and then, whenever another player was on his team, because they would do like co-op play. These 4 players would get together in the same match, and they would go through the Quake campaign together. And when you have 4 players doing Quake, you can like breeze through the entire campaign in just a couple hours. So, but he would, and I think his name was Charles. He would always shoot Dan. No matter why or whenever they got on the same team, he would shoot him accidentally. You know, they would be in a firefight, and then all of a sudden, boom, he would kill Dan. Dan got mad. They almost threw blows at each other. Remember, they're sitting right next to each other. They almost would engage in physical combat. They didn't, because I wouldn't allow that in the store, but oh boy, there was some heated... I didn't mean to do it. Yes, you did. I'm pound you in the head, right? And so, but I know he did it on purpose. I mean, you're watching him, and you see that he comes over there, aims at Dan, boom, he shoots him, you know. So that is considered griefing, because he intentionally would friendly fire specifically against one other player, right? He's deliberately performing actions detrimental to the other team members' game performance. Yeah, because you only get so many lives, or it hurts your health when you get killed, or whatever. Including wasting or destroying game elements, you know, and giving false information, faking extreme incompetence. Okay. Faking extreme incompetence. How is that griefing, right? It's not the faking, it's the intent of hurting your teammates. Like, I don't know how to pick that lock. You know, I don't know how to do this or do that when you do, right? It's causing the whole team to fail. So, I'm still on the first bullet point. The key word there is intent. It's not that he is incompetent. You can be incompetent and not grief. But when you're faking your incompetence, and not because, hey, I'm just gonna make you do it. That's no problem. You know, you can go do it. That's not what he's talking about. It's with the intent on her. It's the intent. He's trying to hurt his team. That's griefing. Like deliberately blocking shots from your own team or getting in their way so they can't see. Basically, anytime you're interfering, and it doesn't have to be your own team, it could be anybody, you're griefing. Let's go to the next bullet point. Actions undertaken to waste other players' time. Okay. Remember my store. This Quake game. It cost money. I don't remember how much it was. It was pretty cheap. I think it was like $1 an hour or something like that. It was like ridiculously low. But if this player paid money to me, which he did, and then another player constantly shot him, preventing him from playing the game, wouldn't you get mad? I know I would be getting mad if someone was constantly shooting me, because that actually cost me real money. Okay? So, think of it like this. When you buy a computer game, you're paying money to enjoy that game. And if someone is causing you to waste time, and what's the analogy? Time is money. They're griefing you. Okay. Like when losing in a turn-based game, a player may play slowly. Okay. So chess, right? In chess, you move, boop, and your opponent sits there and he thinks for like an hour before he makes a move. He's griefing you. That's grief. That's not strategy. That's not. He's basically deliberately hurting you. He knew his play 45 minutes ago. You know, that's why in chess tournaments you got timers, because you cannot waste your opponent's time. Also, it's not that it's trying to make you a better player to speed up your thought process. That's not why the timer is there. The timer is there to protect your opponent from you griefing him. Used to play chess quite a bit. But also, like, okay, let's back up. I used to play this game called Legend of the Five Rings. It's a card game. And we would have 45-minute games in a tournament, and then every hour there would be a new match. So you had like a little bit of time between matches to find out who your new opponent was, find your table, get all set up, get your deck ready, stuff like that. So you had 45 minutes to finish this match. And I knew players that would, you draw your card, you play, you move, and then you pass over to your opponent. And then they would draw their card, and they would sit there and go, I wonder what I'm going to do. I'm thinking. Give me a moment. Maybe I'll move this guy. No, I'm not going to move that guy. Maybe oh, yeah. He's griefing you, right? He's deliberately, because there's not a timer. We didn't have chess timers or whatever. He's deliberately abusing the clock to try to draw the game out or cause it to be a draw, or to even, maybe he's winning and he doesn't want to give you that opportunity to come back from defeat. So that's griefing. Okay. Impersonating of server administrator. Okay. I don't know if I consider that really griefing. I mean, it's on the list here, but I don't consider that if someone in the server says, "Hey, I'm an admin," it's not if they get me to do something, or if they threaten to do something to me if I don't do something, then I could see that being griefing. But just saying, "Hey, I'm a dev," and then not doing anything with it, that's just impersonating a dev. And then they should also be banned. But if they say, "Hey, I'm a dev, I need you to take all your ships to this place because of whatever reason," then I might be like, that would be griefing someone. Okay. Any method of reversing another player's progress, such as destroying or modifying other players' creations in a sandbox game. Okay. Any method of reversing another player's progress, such as destroying or modifying other players' creations in sandbox games, open world, i.e. Star Citizen. I think that could be open for interpretation, because let's say you're carrying cargo from point A to point B. I know you're carrying cargo. I know that by getting that cargo from point A to point B, you will be getting money, which is definition progressing in the game. And I fly over there and say, "Stick 'em up, give me your cargo." As a pirate, I'm not griefing you. I'm robbing you. And then you give me your cargo, and then you fly off. I guess I didn't reverse your player's progress. I just stalled it. Okay, I'll go along with that. But no, I don't really think that's griefing. Written or verbal insults, false accusation, cheating, or okay. You can't use griefing in his definition of griefing. Sorry. Okay. Purposefully violating of server rules. Okay, this was a discussion on this other video that I watched. Apparently right now, or at least in the PTU, there was the ability to, and I haven't tested this out or reported this as a bug, but apparently you could be inside of Port Korea. Someone could fly in and land and get out of their ship or whatever, and you could shoot them through the walls and kill them. Now, that is currently an exploit, sure. Taking an exploit and using it is griefing. Their argument was, and their discussion, they had a discussion, and they that's where I cut the video off, because I didn't feel like they were saying things that I wanted to hear. But they said that some of them agreed that if it is broken in the game and I find the break and utilize this broken something or other, then I am justified. When that's not, I disagree with that, because the definition of griefing is not that I can kill you, because I can, and you could kill me either way. That's not the definition of griefing. Griefing is my intent is to cause you grief. So, by you not being able to fight back or killing you for no reason, that's griefing. So if I can shoot you through a wall and you can't fight back, yes, I'm utilizing exploit, and I should probably be warned, but they should also, and I kind of agree with this part too, that should be fixed, but it's my duty as a alpha tester to report it, not to use it. When something's broken and you discover it's broken, okay, like I shoot somebody through the wall and it kills them. Oh my gosh, it works. Done. I shouldn't ever do that again. I should report it. Or my intent should be, I'm going to try this a couple more times. Pop. Yeah, I killed him. Yeah, it worked. Let's try a different angle. Pop. Yep, it still works. That was my intent, was not to cause him grief. My intent was to test this issue so that I can go in and more accurately report it. Falls back on my thought process. It's intent. Okay. That's purposefully violating the server rules. Okay, kill stealing. Okay. Let's talk about kill stealing a bit. Kill stealing is a different type of grief. It is griefing, but nobody really associates kill stealing with griefing. They just call it kill stealing. I play a game called War Thunder. You have two teams. Team A, red. Team B, which is blue, right? A and B, allies against the Axis, or however they set it up. It's World War II. You're dogfighting, right? I'm chasing this guy. I'm about to kill him. He's on fire. Flames going everywhere. Bullets flying. I'm killing him. And then this teammate of mine just flies in and shoots him and blows him up and flies off. And a lesser man, not me, but a lesser person would say, let's back up. Let's say I see one of my teammates chasing a guy, and he's on fire and he's trying to kill him. He's unable to kill him. My intent is I'm going to swoop down there and I'm going to finish that guy off. I'm going to kill him, helping my teammate, freeing my teammate up to continue to dogfight other people. So I'd fly in, blow him up, and fly off. Do I care about that kill? Zero. I do not care about that kill at all. That was not my intent. My intent was not to kill that guy to steal any kind of victory from my teammate. My intent was to kill that dude, to free up my teammate so we as a team could go on and win this match. what I 99% of the time will get in the chat is, "You stole my kill. Man, I can't believe you swooped in and like took him like that." And I hear that and I understand what he's saying and I get it, but that wasn't my intent. If I'm flying with my buddies and they're doing that and I'm like, "Hey man, I could go down there and kill that guy and get the victory, so I'm going to go do that." That's kill stealing, and that technically is griefing. But I just saying this out loud, anytime you think that I'm stealing your kill, you just need to rethink the whole process, because it's team play. You can't steal a kill in team play. If we were all individuals, like in a tournament, because they do run tournaments, and then they are dogfighting and it matters how many kills you have to see if you progress in the tournament, yes, I would be considered kill stealing. But when it's our team versus their team, you can't have kill stealing. The only reason why they think they are kill stealing is because you get points at the end of the match for every plane you shoot down. But you get a bigger bonus if your side wins. They just don't see that. They don't see the victory side. They see how many kills they got. Yeah, so what does it fall back on? Intent. My intent is not to take your kill. My intent was to help our team. Okay, moving on. Spamming a voice or text chat channel to inconvenience, harass, or annoy other players. Okay. So if you notice how this doesn't have anything to do with killing another player, you can still grief someone without killing them. I know a lot of people think the only way to grief someone is to kill them. That's not true. There's many ways to grief someone. Okay, have you ever been in a multiplayer game when someone just constantly spams chat, like he's recruiting to his organization, or he's, asking you to do sexual favors or something like that? He's just constantly chatting something in there. That's a griefer. Now, someone who puts a request, "Hey, will you perform a sexual favor?" once, right? And doesn't do it 100 million times. He's not griefing. He's actually asking the question. If someone recruits for his organization, just does it once, they're not griefers. They're not spamming. They're just asking, So now, if he does hit it over and over and over, is he doing it because he's just stupid and he's just trying to get people to read it? Or is he doing it because he intends to interrupt your chat? Like, there's a lot of games that I play that if you chat too much, it'll temporarily ban you from chatting anymore. It'll put like a little block on you. And and usually you figure that out. But because sometimes I'll be like, "Help, help, 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 help," and after the second help, it says stop, right? But I'm not doing that to hurt anybody. I'm doing that because I need help, right? But if there's somebody out there that just says A, or whatever, and he's just hitting that because he doesn't want a conversation going on, first of all, he's a dick. Second of all, he's a griefer. Okay, moving on. Uploading offensive and explicit images and pictures in-game. Okay, or game skins. I don't really know if that's griefing or if that's just being... I guess it could be considered griefing if you're being offensive to someone else, but that's not really griefing. That's just being annoying or whatever, because usually if you upload a skin, it's not going to affect me in any way. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily considered griefing, unless that upload is forced onto my screen. Like if I can't get rid of it, then I could see it being griefing. Okay, camping at a corpse or spawn area. So I don't know if that's necessary. Okay, camping is a viable tactic. That's a legitimate tactic. I mean, snipers do it all the time. You know, you get into a nice secret hideaway. You're covering the door. You're waiting for your enemy to come through the door, and you cap them. Pop! That's not griefing. That's tactics. But if my intent is to shoot everyone that comes out of the door, not because it's going to help my team, but just because I want to prevent them from playing the game, sure, that's griefing. So you really gotta get into the griefer's mindset. Is he doing it because he's trying to win the game, or is he doing it because he's trying to hurt you? Okay. All right. Now this one right here, this acting out of character in a role-playing game. I thought about this for a minute, and I can put this in a situation that's already been discussed. I watch a channel. You guys have probably seen it before, the Relay Station, right? I think they're a bunch of cool guys. I like to watch them. They have a lot to say, and you know they seem like they're all right guys. There's a guy named Eris. He runs the station. It's basically a news network, right? So what he plans to do in Star Citizen when it's actually released is to use the voice over IP and the face over IP to role play his character in the game as a news correspondent or as a news person on location or whatever. And so he's going to go in and he's going to give the news. He's going to role play. He's not going to have a webcam like this, right? He's going to have his avatar being shown on the screen right there, right? So, and it's going to be like, in the background, we've got all this going on, and I'm over here, and I'm doing this thing. And he's going to role play his character, which I think is 110% awesome, right? But what if he's doing that, I know he's doing that, and I go behind him and I'm saying, hey, Eris, you're a dick, or anything. Just get behind him and start making lewd comments or getting in his camera shot or whatever. What am I doing? I'm griefing him because he's trying to do something serious, and I'm trying to be not so serious. Not that I'm just being stupid and be behind him going, hey, I want to be on camera. Not that. But when I'm on there calling him by name, or talking to him out of character, even though he's trying to do a recording, or, I'm, just, sticking my butt on the camera or something like that, mooning him or something like that, that would be griefing. It has nothing to do with me killing him or anything. My intent was to affect his gameplay. He was trying to be in a serious situation, role play his character, and I jumped in there and ruined it. That's griefing. Okay. This happened to me quite a bit in some fantasy MMOs and City Heroes and some other MMOs. Okay. A lot of times, I'll be PvEing, right? I'll just be doing my own thing, questing, killing monsters, leveling my character up, I haven't gotten to the point where I can join the raids or anything like that. And I'm just trying to kill my little squirrels, right? I'm out there killing squirrels. And some 50th level a-hole runs over to the big dragon boss or whatever, aggroes it, and then runs past me. And that dragon, he didn't run past me because I was in the direction he needed to go. He ran past me knowing that dragon was going to run past me as well. And when the dragon comes by, it kills me dead and then continues on chasing him, but he's already gone a couple of extra maps over, so it stops chasing him and it resets. What do? I lay there bleeding out. That's what happens. So he griefed me. He did it on purpose. It was his intent. So you're kind of getting a theme, right? It's whenever someone intends to hurt someone else. That's griefing. Okay, luring many monsters. Yeah, as a tank in City Heroes, I would run into a room full of the bad guys, right? And I would run around and I would like punch one out of each mob or something like that, making a big circle, getting all 50 monsters to come after me. But I did it on purpose so that my blasters or controllers could hit them, control them, and blast them while I stood in the middle and just soaked up all the damage. That was team play. That was intentional. My intent was to help the team. But if I was some tanky dude and I ran in and aggroed them all and then ran out the room as fast as I could past the rest of my team, knowing that the mobs would chase me into my teammates and they would all get killed, my intent was to grief them. Okay, luring many monsters. Right. Blocking other players' way so they cannot move. There are some games out there that you can't move through any person. So like in The Division, it had a problem at launch where griefers would stand in doorways, keeping people out of the, keeping them, preventing players from entering the game. They couldn't get out of the starting zone. If you stood in the doorway and you didn't know what was going on, that's one thing. But if you did it intentionally to block people in, then you're griefing. Using in-game bugs, exploits, for example, going underground or out of the map, or at Korea, inside, shooting outwards, killing people outside. Yes, that is considered griefing. There was back when I used to play MechWarrior Online. I do every now and then, but when I used to play pretty heavily, there was a River City map, and the main big government building, there was a certain wall that you could actually walk through. And then your mech could actually be inside the geometry of one of these buildings. No one could shoot you or see you, but you could shoot out, because the geometry was one way. It was like a two-way mirror where shots couldn't come in, but your shots could go out. And people would camp that. They would sit inside there and they would shoot out. At the time, I thought that was kind of like, ooh, it's cool. That's neato. But looking back on it, those guys were actually kind of dickish. Intentionally attempting to crash a server in order to cause interference among other players. Okay. Back in the day, when you could summon starfarers and blow them up and crash the servers, people would do that. Now, because it's PTU or early alpha, I don't think they were doing that to grief. I think they were doing that to stress test the servers. So I like to think positively about them as not trying to grief each other, but just trying to honestly crash the server to see if it would work and then report it. You know what I'm saying? So intentionally lagging a server through various means, such as spawning large amounts of resource demanding objects. The Starfarer back in the day. Okay. Trapping teammates in inescapable locations, like if you could push them into a pit and there was no ladders. There's one way to do that is like, hey, I trapped you, I'll throw you a rope or I'll help you get out if you pay me a certain amount. That's one thing. But if you're doing it and then you just say, ha, 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 and leave, then that's griefing. Okay. Consistently pausing the game. Okay, there are certain games you would play, like XCOM, let's say, that you and your teammate playing over the internet, or there's another game, Matrix Games made this game, Steel Panthers. I don't know if you're familiar with that game, but you could play over the internet with someone, and either side, because it's turn-based, or actually it was either turn-based. Yeah, it was turn-based. If they would just not put their turn in, they'd get up, walk away, go eat dinner, use the bathroom or whatever. They were pretty much griefing you, because what were you doing? You were sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. They were killing your time. So, yeah, they're just being a dick. Whatever. Okay, here the last one. High skill players. Okay. There was a conversation. Can a high skill player grief a low skill player? Or are they just better? Yes, you are better, and shooting them in the face is because, I mean, you're not going to turn your back and say, I'm not going to shoot you because I'm a better player than you. No. What this is trying to explain is there are certain ELO calculations that determine your rank in matches. And this really happens in match-style games. Star Marine, Arena Commander, War Thunder, MechWarrior Online. Any of these games that have a team building, rating against each other, comparing skill level to put you in a match, any game that does that, this can be used to exploit that. And I know this to be true because there used to be people I know that would do this, and it was a shock to me. It was MechWarrior Online when it happened. They would go into a match with certain low-ranking players, and they would just eject out. They would just eject. And what that caused, what happened was those players received victories on their record. And if it happened enough, those victories would put those brand new, low mech, inexperienced players in higher tier battles, and they would just get crushed. And even though you might not be the one that goes against them, you're deliberately putting them into a higher tier than they belong. And so you basically are griefing them indirectly. Like, I'm not the one that killed you, but I put you in a situation that caused you to get killed. Okay. Okay. So now there's like this industry response here that I kind of want to talk about. But we already talked about this at the very beginning. The whole reason why a company cares whether a player is griefing or not is because of money, right? It's all about the income. If a player is griefing and the rest of the players or the players that get griefed, if they get fed up with the fact that they're getting griefed, they won't come back. And if they don't come back, they're not going to pay them. Now, I'm noticing here that some malicious players are red flagged, and that's dealt on the Game Master's discretion. But as many as 25% of customer support calls deal specifically with griefing. Now, not all of them are legit. Some of them are, hey, that guy blew me up. Well, guess what? You weren't where you were supposed to be. You were invading his territory. That's not griefing. Or, hey, that guy stole my kill. Yeah, he did, but he was trying to help you as a team. That's not griefing. But a lot of people will respond. CIG just recently said, and I'm happy to hear it, but there's going to be a method where you can ticket someone, start a ticket saying, this guy griefed me at X, Y, and Z, and then a game master will go in and look at the logs, and he'll try to determine if he actually was griefing. That's good, But I'm going to be a realist. I'm going to be a realist here. I don't think there's 25% of the community out there is actually griefing. I think probably at the most, there's probably 10 or 15%, right? But I bet you that more than 25% of these tickets that come in are going to be about griefers. If they get 100 tickets in a day for various things, 25 of them will be about griefers. They're going to have an employee looking at 25 tickets, and he's going to get through one. Because he's going to have to do some research. He's going to figure this out. He's going to say, okay, this guy was or he wasn't griefing. What happened to those other 24? Well, they go on the backlog. The next day, another 25 tickets come in. Another 25 tickets. There's going to be a point when there's going to be more tickets than they have people researching them. And so there's never is all those griefing tickets ever going to get researched. So I feel like this when I play War Thunder, because I know of a lot of people that get reported in War Thunder, and you still see them playing. They say, oh yeah, we take it seriously. Yeah, you might take it seriously, but you don't do anything about it. And that's the way I think Star Citizen's going to be. They're going to have millions of tickets that come in for griefing. They're going to have one guy going, nah, I'm not going to bother with it. That's what's going to happen. Okay. Now it says Blizzard has enacted software components to combat griefing. Now, what that means is, like, disable friendly fire, possibly, or you get shot and by a friendly, then it knows that a friendly is like team killing, and it'll ban that person or it'll kick him out of the match or something like that. But this is an MMO, so I don't see how that could happen. And how do you know if he's killing you? How can a software program determine intent? Because that's griefing. Griefing is he intentionally, he means to do this, hurt you. If he accidentally kills you, or he's killing you because of a reason, or he's getting paid to kill you, that's not griefing. That's he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's a bounty hunter or something, right? Yeah, and then this is another one specifically. EVE Online have incorporated activities typically considered griefing as part of their gameplay. So they encourage griefing, which is why I don't play EVE. I don't play EVE or Elite Dangerous. I am the kind of guy, and you might know this from watching a lot of my videos, I'm the kind of guy that's honorable. I'm a team player. I try to help people out. I encourage, like a challenge, like one-on-one combat. I'm okay with that, but not any form of griefing at all. And I actually do like a lot of the PvE activities. I enjoy questing. I enjoy going after, the MacGuffin or whatever. Because usually PvE normally is the backdrop of a campaign or a story that is being told by the developers. And the only way I can get that story is by going on these mission quests or whatever, and 99% of these mission quests are all going to be against creatures that are in the game or something like that. And that's where I derive a lot of my enjoyment. When you start talking about team play, you're usually talking about competitive PvP play, and that's not story. And I'm really into the story. I'm also into PvP. Don't get me wrong. I play War Thunder or MechWarrior Online. I play a lot of games that are strictly PvP. But when it comes to a MMO, and I know there's this debate on whether MMOs should be played solitaire. I think they should be. And here's where then why do you join a multiplayer game if you're only going to play it by yourself? Okay. Because you're getting the story. But there's also the opportunity to join a team and go on quests with a team. Yes, I enjoy having my ship fly into a planet all by myself, exploring, looking around. Some bear attacks me, I pull out my laser gun and I blow him away. I enjoy that. Would I also enjoy saying, hey, Parasite, jump on my ship. Let's go over to this planet. Let's check it out. Oh, look at a bear. Let's shoot it. Pop. And we do it team play. I love that too. What else would I love? I would also love, hey, Parasite, come join me on this planet. We're going to go raid this base. It's owned by some other organization. We're going to have fun, shooting them up or whatever, taking their base from them. I enjoy that as well. And you can only get that in an MMO. Right? So I play MMOs for the opportunity to play multiplayer, but I don't want to be required to play multiplayer. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to people, because I enjoy story-driven player versus environment content. I just do. I love it. Okay, so here we go. What else are they talking about? That was Eve. Shooters like Counter-Strike have implemented peer review systems. Okay, now Star Citizen's talking about having the council, what do they call it? The criminal. It's basically a judicial system, and there are certain players that sit on that, and they will review cases. That'll never happen. I mean, you can think, yeah, peer review, I get that, but I'm trying to be a realist. I don't think that will ever happen. Okay. Minecraft servers have rules against it, right? And I have not seen that episode, Make Love Not Warcraft. And you know why? Because I don't watch South Park. At all. I consider it stupid. It's for stupid people. I don't know. I'm sorry if I called you stupid if you like it. But all right, guys. Well, that was my definition, and apparently the dictionary, because I went to the dictionary to get this definition here. What a griefer is. It's actually Webster. I think it was Webster's dictionary of what griefing was. So, my synopsis before I end this video. What griefing is. And you can have your, like I said, everybody has their own opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. But in my interpretation, and I'm in line with 99% of culture, it's intent. It's the intent to hurt someone, not... Because, okay, just using Star Citizen as an example, because that's the backdrop of this whole video. If you were a pirate, and you say, man, I want to play a pirate, more power to you. I think that's awesome. I'm not going to be a pirate. I'm going to be the Navy Squadron commander who has the 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron, who protects people from pirates and smugglers and anything like that. So for me to have a job, I need you to be a pirate. Okay, so you're a pirate. And you are causing all kinds of disturbances. You're raiding the merchant lanes. You're taking other people's cargo. You're selling it on the black market. You're robbing people on planet. All of that is not griefing. That is good criminal gameplay. That's just criminal gameplay. But if you are in the merchant lanes and a merchant comes flying by and you just blow him up and giggle, hee, I blew him up, you're a griefer, right? If some guy is walking out of the store with a bag of groceries and you kill him, pop, and walk away, you're a griefer. Now, if you kill him because he's got money in his pocket and you're trying to get that money out of his pocket, you're not a griefer. You're robbing him. So there's a difference. Your intent is what it boils down to. Are you trying to hurt some other player's gameplay? Doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter how. As you can see from the previous slides, there are millions of ways that you can be a griefer. But the bottom line is, do you intend to hurt someone else's gameplay, to prevent them from having a good time? Is that your intention? If that's your intention, you're a griefer, and I think you're scum of the earth. If you're interested in helping me stop griefers and pirates and smugglers, check out the 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron. We're always looking for good pilots, good first-person shooter, Marines, merchants, explorers, scouts, everything. All right, I'll catch you next time. I'm logging out.